And we are live. Hello, everyone. This hour on
Hi.
Verbally, the next on my... Oh, just going to turn you off for just a second while I do the introduction there, Philippe. This hour on Verbally, the next in my Hot Topic series. In this series of classes, we look at interesting things going on in the news. We read the article and talk about it from our own perspective. Bring our culture and our opinions to things happening in the media. In this class in particular, we're going to read about Carlos Slim's idea for a 3-day working week. The billionaire who has a fascinating proposal, at least for some. We'll talk about what that means and your opinion about it in just a moment. But first, let me get my name on the screen, do a little introduction, and then we will get started. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, it'll take you to this page, I think. Hold on. Oh, it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to see that. You're supposed to see my profile. Oh, what happened to my profile page? Uh-oh, it's gone. All right. Well, anyway, when I can get the profile back up, I'll show it to you. I don't know why that just disappeared. View profile. Here we go. So if you click on that link in the Verbling chat window, it'll take you here to my profile page. You can click the follow button on the left to get notified of my upcoming classes. You can also schedule a private tutoring session with me by clicking Book Now. It's better that you write me a message first so that I can make time in my schedule. In private tutoring, I will create a personalized learning plan to help get you to your goals as soon as possible. So, if you're interested, send me a message. We'll find time and we'll talk about it. Okay, let's get started. Let me share the material with you. Give me just a second for that to load. And if at any time you want to download this to your computer, just click this link right here. Okay? All right. So as people are coming in, let me just say a quick hello to everyone. First person I saw was Mr. Felipe. Hello, Felipe. How are you? Hello, Felipe.
Hello, can you
There
hear
we
me?
go. And where are you from, Felipe?
I'm from Colombia.
From Colombia. Okay, great. What time is it in the morning right now?
No, I'm in London.
Oh, you're in London, so it's noon.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
it's 12.
a little better. It would be too early in the morning in Colombia. Great to have you with
Yeah.
us.
Okay,
And
thank
Mr.
you.
Miko, welcome back. How are you?
Hello, doing well. How are you?
Good. Are you exercising?
Yes, the same as all the other days. Yes, exactly.
Very good. Very good. When I can find an affordable one, I'll be doing the same.
Okay. You know,
There,
you know that spend money in healthy is always is cheap.
it's true, but I guess I need a promotion. When I get a raise, then I'll do it. Let's see who else is out there. We have Monica. Hello, Monica. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you.
Very good. Let's see. Monica, is this your first time with us?
No, I had some classes with you, but a month ago.
You have a different picture, though.
Yeah, probably yes.
Where are you in this picture?
In this picture, I was in Spain, Sevilla,
Oh, you're in Seville.
but
Okay,
I'm
very
from
good.
Italy.
And whereabouts in Italy? Remind me.
I'm from the north of Italy.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember now. It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, near Venice.
Right. From Mestre.
Vicenza.
Vicenza. Okay, right. I remember you now. Yes. Okay. Because I was telling you, I was in Vicenza for
Yes,
30 minutes. That's and
by
I
train.
exactly.
Yes, I remember.
I was there long enough to see the little fair that was across the street from the train station for that month. When was that? That was in September. I don't know what
In
festival it was.
September, yes, we celebrate the Holy Mary. Something. I don't know how to say. It's a Catholic celebration by the church.
Mhm. Ah,
On 8th September, maybe.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, this year I'll be going to Bologna. I'm not going to Bergamo, so I'm not going to be able to visit you this time either. Unless you go to Bologna.
Yeah.
But we'll
a
see.
little
I'll be
bit in
flying.
the south.
I'll be flying in and out of Bologna instead of Bergamo, so I will bypass. All right. Well, anyway, I remember you. So there we go. Let's see. I can't neglect Sandra, though. Hello, Sandra. How are you? Welcome back.
Fine, thank you. I am fine.
And you never told me, what is that mountain in the picture?
I don't know what this is. Only pictures I take in my computer.
Oh, I thought that was a picture at your window.
Yeah.
I thought that was the volcano right in front of your house. No?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a volcano in front of your house?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll try to find out what that is and get back to you. And let's see. Who do we have here? We have, is it Yilmaz? How do I say your name?
Yes.
Say your name for me so I get the pronunciation right.
My name is, you say just Jem.
Jem.
Jem, yes.
Hello, Jem. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How
And
are you?
you're from Turkey, aren't you?
Yes.
I thought so. Because the last time I saw someone with a C in their name and they pronounced it like a J, the guy's
Yes.
name was John. I found out that that's how you say it in Turkish. Okay, so everyone, let's get started. We're going to talk about a radical proposal, which is in the news this week about a 3-day work week, this weekend and earlier as well. And I wanted to ask you, before we begin, a little warm-up. At what age do people stop working in your country? Let's compare retirement ages. When I was a kid, it was, let's see, in America, I think it was 62 or 65 when I was a kid. I think it was actually 62 when I was really young. Then I think it went up to 65. Not 100% sure. It was not unheard of to retire in your 50s when I was a kid. Nowadays, that's a crazy idea. Let's see, Philippe, you said you're from Colombia, right?
Yes.
What's the retirement age in Colombia?
Retirement, I think it's, I'm not sure, 60?
60? Okay.
Yes, probably.
And so if you're 60, you can stop working and you can receive money from the government, a pension. Is that right?
Yes, pension. That's what you
Okay.
get, pension.
Very good. By the way, as we go along, I'll put the vocabulary words in the chat window. Later on, probably would be a good idea if you put these in your notes, because these are key words that will come up for the topic of work and the topic of retirement, those kind of things. What about in, I guess it's the same all over Spain, isn't it, Miguel?
I'm not very sure, but I think that is now is 67 more or less. Depends on the job.
Mhm.
But I was searching now on the Wikipedia. It says it's 67.
67.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, but isn't there like a national age where you start receiving a pension?
Depends on the job. But
yeah, but I don't mean a private pension. I mean the government retirement money.
But it's different. Depends on the job. You can retire with when you are 60 or 65 or 60. For instance, if you work on the sea, if you are a fisherman,
If you're yeah, you don't have to be a man, but yeah,
a fisher person,
person.
uh, I think that they can retire very, very early, 50 or 55, something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't quite understand this.
It's
Even for me.
It's a quite hard job, and they have this advantage.
Because I always thought the real difference was between civil servants and people working in the private sector. I thought that civil servants, I guess when we talk about a retirement age, we're talking about government employees mostly. So I guess it depends, like you're saying. Okay, makes sense though.
Yeah.
And what about in Italy, Monica? Is it the same? I think in Italy it's very late, isn't it?
Yes, it is kind of confusion in this lately, because they changed the law lately,
Right.
and they had postponed the age of retirement. I guess right now it is around 65.
65, right? And a while ago, there was like a proposal. I just gotta mute somebody because I'm hearing lots of noise. Philippe, I'm just gonna mute you for a minute because we're hearing like fingers on a keyboard or something. But you can turn your mic on when you're ready to speak. Okay, Felipe? So, Monica, you were saying 65. Wasn't there a proposal to extend it to like 72 or something like that a while ago? I think one of my students was telling me that.
It's going to change in the next year, and it's going to get a little bit longer in every year from now and on. Until, I don't know, maybe until 67, 68 year. Maybe when we get to 2022, I don't know exactly. It's confusing. The law is quite confusing.
Interesting. Oh, and let's find out about what we still got. Sandra, I forgot where you're from. You're from somewhere in South America, right? I forgot.
I am from Colombia.
Colombia too. So 60 for you.
Yes, 62 for
62.
men and 55 for a woman.
What? Run that by me again. 55 for women and 62 for men?
Yes, 62 for men.
You will die. You will die early, January.
But wait a second. Women live longer than men, so shouldn't it be the opposite?
I just read in this moment. I read this information.
I'm sure it's right. I'm just saying, doesn't that seem counterintuitive? Women tend to live something like 8 years longer average than men, something like that. So
Yes.
So we have to work longer and die sooner? That's not fair. I am canceling my plans to go to Colombia. I'm canceling. And what about in Turkey, Jem? Do you know the retirement age? Jem, are you out there? Hello, Jem? Jem? Uh-oh, I don't hear you. Let's see if your mic is working. Jem, is your mic on? You have to turn the microphone on at the top of the screen. Maybe Jem. What is going on? All right, so Jem, when you get your microphone on, just say hello to us again. We cannot hear you right now. Turn your mic on. Okay, so before we read, just quickly, I want to look at a few vocabulary words that will help you. I wanted to ask how many hours people work, but that'll come up in the reading, actually. So we've got, let's see. Yeah, we've got two sets of keywords. Normally, if we had a longer class, I would ask you to actually go to the sections that they tell you in the reading and try to look up the word. We don't quite have time for that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is maybe I'll ask you to pick, maybe I'll assign 2 words to each of you, and I'll ask you to either look it up, you can Google for it, give an example if you know what it means, or you can use the indications below to try to guess what it is by skimming through the article. Okay, so that means that if you look at these slides from 6 to yeah, okay, so it's from 3 to 6. You have definitions there with an indication of where it is in the text. The text is pretty short, by the way. So if you see the definition for the word I assign you, right, or if you think you see it, you can double check by looking at the indication of the paragraph. 1 to 3, 1 to 4 are all in the introduction. Starting in 6 and 7, you can see that it goes to section 1, then section 2, section 3, then section 4, 5. Yeah, you can see those. Okay, but we're going to do this in a more intuitive way. I'm going to give you 2 words, one from each box, and you're going to try to define them in your own way. But you're welcome to use the clues below to help you. Okay? So I'm going to do this randomly. So Felipe, you're going to try to define or give an example of what is meant by local authorities. I'm going to go right around the room, then we'll come back to you. So you have a minute to find this. And remember, you're going to get 2 words because there's 2 sets of vocabulary words to help you with the reading. Mikkel, yours is brainwave. Monica,
Okay.
you're going to be doing labor market and civil service. Those 2 words, because I think they're easy, so it should be hard for you. Sandra, you're going to be doing the definitions of commuting and unions, those 2. I think they're pretty easy, but we'll find out. Jem, if you're out there, you're going to be doing the word impact. Second set is coming up in just a second. Starting on slide 5, you'll see a second set of words. Okay? So, Philippe, your second word is going to be wages. Mikkel, your second word is going to be blue collar.
Okay.
Monica, your third word is going to be shift. This is not as a verb, this is a noun, by the way. Sandra, cram into is going to be your third word. Jem, stretching. What it means in the context of the article is going to be your second word. The other words I think are very easy, so I don't think there'll be a problem. Okay? I'll give everyone a minute or 2 to think about these words or look them up or whatever we need. Okay? I'll give you a minute and then we'll go over our answers and you give me your best guess or a synonym or an example, or if you like, use the definitions that you see somewhere on slides 3 to 6. It's up to you how you want to define the words. Okay, another 30 seconds, everyone. Get your definitions together. Okay, 15 seconds, everyone. All right. Time is up. If you're not 100% sure, don't worry, because you're going to learn. If you're wrong, don't worry, you're going to learn. Okay, but you're going to give your best guess right now. Philippe, let's try your 2 words. Repeat the word, give us a definition, example, or synonym.
Okay. And that is like the government, no? It's like the mayor or yes.
Who else besides the mayor?
Well, generally the government, no? Or the local government.
Yeah, authorities definitely means government.
Yeah.
And local could be a mayor, so that means the city hall.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Could be the city council. That means like the people who make the laws for the city. It depends on what we mean by local, whether it's a city or whether it's a county. Right? Counties are bigger than cities, but they're rural. Okay? So let's put that definition there in the chat window. Local authorities means the government, could be the mayor, city hall, city council, the county as well. Okay? We'll come back to you first.
Do you know how I can see the vocabulary on my phone?
See the vocabulary on your phone? Sorry? Oh, you mean the chat window? You mean?
Yes.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
On your phone,
Right.
I don't think you're able to. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
You have to complain to Verbling. Get them to fix the app. Because you
Okay.
should.
Yes.
Mr. Mikkel, you did what? Civil service?
Oh, brainwave.
Sorry, brainwave. Tell us about a brainwave.
I think that this word has 2 different meanings. No, one formal meaning could be electrical impulse in the brain.
Right, we don't care about that meaning.
But the informal informal meaning could be a good idea.
Having a good idea, basically. Call that a brainwave. Usually, we mean that in a kind of sarcastic way. Oh, John over there has a brainwave. You know, he just invented the wheel. What a brainwave!
So if there is a good idea, you can use this. So a crazy idea could be a brainwave.
Exactly, or an idea that he thinks is a good idea, but the rest of the human race thinks is kind of been there, done that, or not so good.
You know that in Spanish we used a fireman idea.
A fireman idea?
Yes, when it is something.
Bomberos?
Yeah. Yes. When it's a bad idea, but the author of this idea thinks that it's a good idea. It's a fireman idea.
What does that say about firefighters? do they have bad ideas?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay. Monica, tell us about, I think you did labor, right?
Labor market.
Tell us about that. What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it is the number of people who are available for work.
The number of people available for work. Okay, good. I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely. Notice that I spell labor L-A-B-O-R, and British English spells it L-A-B-O-U-R. I'm American. I don't put the U. In American English, we drop the U in labor. Okay? Your second word, Monica, you had 2?
Civil service.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the department of the government, and it refers to the people who work there.
So we'll say government workers.
Yeah.
Government workers, but they're working for the public. I'll say attending the public. That makes sense. Because there's government workers I don't know if the FBI is civil service, right? Because the FBI doesn't deal with the public,
Yes.
right? So I'll say attending the public. That should be the thing that separates them from other parts of the government. Okay, because there's also a foreign service. Foreign service are like diplomats. So civil service deal with the public, foreign service deal with foreign countries. Okay, great. And Sandra, you did what? Unions, was it?
Unions and commuting.
So let's unions. What is that?
How I think it's a group of persons who work for a goal, community goal.
A group, first of all, group of people,
Of people, yes.
right? Not persons,
Yes.
who work for a common goal. Work for a common goal.
Yes.
For a common goal. Except one thing's missing. The common goal related to labor. Isn't it? It's always about labor. It's about work.
To labor, yes. Okay,
Right?
work.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Very good. And what does commuting mean? You said you did that one too.
Commuting is traveling regularly to and from work.
Traveling to work. Good. So we're going to see how commuting will change if we have a 3-day work week. Let's say a quick good morning to Mr. Giancarlo. Hello, Giancarlo. How are you?
Fine, thank you, John. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, we're just clarifying some vocabulary before we read. We're going to find out about someone from your country who has a very radical proposal for a new way of working. And I was about to go to Philippe, but Philippe lost his connection, so we're going to go back to Mr. Mikkel right now.
My second
For
word was
wages, right?
blue collar.
Oh, blue collar. Got it. What is blue collar?
I think that it's about the working class. The
Working class. So who is blue collar? Who is working class?
it's a
Is the
person.
president
No,
blue
it's-
collar? No.
it's just the opposite. It's the people who works in the most basic jobs
Most
or-
basic, really? Wouldn't police be considered blue collar? Would the police force be considered blue collar workers?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so. But you're absolutely right. It's not like let's see. Actually, let's look it up. Which you can because blue collar police in America wear blue shirts.
I think that it depends on the
So they
country.
have,
I think that
so they have. Yeah.
the status of police is very different depending on the country.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're out there, if you get your hands dirty, you're blue collar.
Okay.
So if you're a cop on the beat, Cecile says employees. Basically, she's right. If you're an employee, that means you're a patrol cop. You're in a patrol car. You're blue collar. If you're a sergeant in the police force, you're white collar. Your salary's better. You do paperwork. You give press statements, right? You're not doing the dirty work necessarily.
But according to these definitions, to your
Mhm.
definition, if you have dirty your hands,
Mhm.
a politician could be a blue collar.
Not that kind of dirt. If you get that kind of dirt, you're white collar for sure.
Okay.
You go to a special prison where they serve cappuccino and filet mignon if you
Okay.
get caught. That's a different kind of dirt. Okay?
Okay.
But good. I think we've mapped out the difference. So
Yeah.
that's good. We're back to Monica for shifts, wasn't it? I think you did shift work.
Yes.
What's a shift?
It's a period of time that in which you work in a factory, in an office.
Mhm.
So
Well-
the amount of hours that that you
Well,
work in?
Well, I'm a freelancer and I work sometimes 10 hours a day, sometimes 4 hours a day. So, but I'm not doing shift work. So when you say working in a period of time, what do you mean? You mean a set period of time?
Yes, a set period of time.
Ah. So in Italian, I think you would say something like fixo or something like that. We say set. Working in a set period of time, right? And then there'll probably be 3 shifts in a day, in a work day, probably.
Yeah.
So it'd be a morning, afternoon, and overnight shift, something like that. Okay, let's go to Sandra for cram. I think you did.
Cram into?
Yeah, I think that was yours, right?
Yes, this is mine.
Okay, tell us about what that means in the context of the 3-day work week. Because you're going to see this coming up in the article. So what do you think it means to cram something into something else, to cram into?
Cram into is put something in something.
To put something in something, okay.
Yes.
Going to be a little more specific.
For example, I cram 4 kids into a car.
Okay. So to put something big into a small space where it doesn't fit,
Yes.
right? There you go. So what do you think we're going to cram into? If we have a 3-day work week, what do you think we're going to cram into those 3 days that we don't have to do now with a 5-day work week? What would you imagine before we even read? Right now, 5 days, we work typically 40 hours a week. So what do you think we're going to have to cram into those 3 days? See what I mean? Not clear.
I don't know.
Well, if cram into is to put something big into something small,
Okay.
we're going to have to cram 40 hours into 3 days where it won't fit. It's going to be really hard to work 40 hours over 3 days. Whereas working 40 hours over 5 days, well, that's already exhausting enough. That's 8 hours a day. How long is the workday going to be if you have to cram 40 hours into a 3-day work week? How many hours per day are you going to be working? Anyone want to do the math?
13.
13, yeah, because if it was 12, 3 times 12 is 36, so yeah. So that's a long work day, don't you think? All right, and this is all Giancarlo's fault because Carlos Slim is Mexican. So this is all your fault, Giancarlo. This is a Mexican proposal.
A Mexican proposal. Well,
Yeah.
in Mexico we work 8 hours a day.
I know, but there's a Mexican billionaire who wants us to work for 3 days a week. Do you know who this guy is? Carlos Slim? Have you heard of him before?
He mentioned something about it.
Yeah, it's his proposal. Well, let's read. Let's find out exactly what it is.
Yes, I heard something. Yeah. Some months ago, he told that the working days must be 13 hours a day, and 3 days for resting. I think he mentioned something
4
like that.
days. 4 days for resting.
Wow. Well, it could be
Imagine.
a good idea. It could be a good idea, John.
I think,
Why
well,
not? Why not? Because we need to break rules sometimes. If we don't break rules, we wouldn't know something more. I mean,
mhm. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. But
yeah.
here's why I'm suspicious. Because it's a billionaire who's making the proposal, so I'm sure this will suit him more than the rest of us. So I'm suspicious. That's all.
Okay, let's read it.
If it was your proposal, I'd be okay with it. But because it's a Mexican telecom billionaire's proposal, I'm a little bit suspicious. But I'll tell you what, let's find out what the experts think, because we're going to encounter 5 experts who give their opinion. This article's really short, actually, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. I want you to be able to sum up what the complications could be, as well as what they think. There's some of them who are completely for it. What do they think the positive points are? So, Giancarlo, why don't you start us off with the introduction, okay, which is a little long. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. It's, what, 5 short paragraphs, okay?
Yes, sure. Will Carlos Slim's 3-day working will actually be workable? Philip Lyman and Angela Monahan, 23 July 2014. When the world's second richest person has a brainwave he believes could make everyone better off, the world listens. Recently, Carlos Slim, a Mexican telecoms billionaire worth $72 billion, maybe, called for a global 3-day
Dollars,
working
right?
week. The advantage is twice as much leisure time. The disadvantage is longer days and people still working in their 70s. It is a work hard, play hard way of thinking that many of the world's billionaires might agree with, but it would be a huge change for most workers and their employers. But there are big changes in the UK labour market that shows they might be onto something, such as more flexible working and more people working part-time. Unions might be unsure about the suggestion, but technology, increases in life expectancy, and increased costs due to commuting and high house prices all make a more flexible approach to work seem attractive. We asked experts to tell us whether Slim's vision for a 3-day working week could work and what its impact would be.
Okay, good. So what might make it seem attractive, according to the article, right now, without thinking about it too much, what seems attractive about it? Why does this seem like it might work, according to the author, not according to you yet?
According to the author, is like uh, we can have much leisure time.
Okay, more leisure, that seems attractive. But what's happening to us as a society or as a species specifically? So it's both things. Us as a species and us as a society. What's happening to us that makes this seem, okay, not attractive, feasible? What makes this feasible right now? According to the author, again. Feasible means that it is possible now and it wasn't possible before.
Okay, he mentioned something about life expectancy.
Right?
Uh-huh.
What about it? Longer or shorter?
Longer, I think so.
Longer. Yeah.
Longer, yeah.
By the way,
Because
be careful. Not I think so, but I think.
I think.
Okay. Longer,
Yes.
I think. And you are right. Life expectancy appears to be increasing all around the world. Well, that's not exactly true, but most places. And as a society, there's another change, too, which might be really beneficial. We're going to spend less money where? Because we're spending more money where? Look at the last paragraph, because he talks about the financial part, the social cost, I guess you could say. Do you see what I mean?
The part when it says, we asked experts to tell us whether Slim's vision for a 3-day working week could work.
No, not that. Actually, the paragraph before. There's something social which has changed related to the costs involved in work. Did you catch it?
Yes. Um, community and high house prices all make a more flexible approach to work seem attractive.
So, so if we commute 3 days, if we commute 3 days, our commute will be less. In other words, the decrease in commuting will offset the massive increase in housing prices. That's what I was getting at. Does that make sense? And the word I want to use there is offset. That means to displace. If housing prices go up, which they have, remember the housing market crashed more than 5 years ago. So all kinds of crazy things happened. So if the housing prices go up and keep going up, we have to compensate in some way. I don't know about you, but I used to spend easily $100 a month, easily, probably more like double in New York, easily $100 a month, probably more like 200 on commuting. Even buying a pass. Now, actually, I know it was more than 100 because it was 100 just to take the train every day from New Jersey when I was living across the river, and then there was another pass or something like that for the subway. So yeah, easily more than 100. That's a lot, actually.
That's a lot, but on the contrary, John, imagine that the people who don't commute every day, who don't use cars, taxis, and subway and this kind of transportation, in a certain way, 3 days, people are going to be in different places. Maybe movie theaters are going to be crowded, or
Yeah,
maybe
but
different, or maybe, for example, people maybe in front of the computers wasting electricity, or maybe water, or different services. Because I don't think that people who don't work 3 days, they are going to be sleeping all day long.
no, but maybe they'll be visiting you in Baja California in a natural resort. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Exactly.
maybe it'll be because if we don't need to power all those offices. I mean, office buildings are incredibly wasteful. So I'm not sure that that's the problem. But anyway, that's definitely something for us to think about. Well, let's find out what the other experts think first. Mikkel, let's tell us about David Kern.
David Kern, Chief Economist, British Chambers of Commerce.
Economist.
Economist.
Right.
Chief Economist. Yeah.
Chief. Not chief, but
Chief.
Like chow. Chief.
Chief Economist.
Good.
It's a very interesting idea. In many professions, it would be possible. In creative businesses, among consultants and accountants, for next page, please. For example, but it could be damaging in those areas where you have a lot of people working with the public, for example, local authorities and the civil service. Some workers would be happier and more productive, but others would not like to work 11 hours a day. A working week of 33 hours would be a big decrease in the number of hours worked. This will create a big hole, and I don't think productivity will increase enough to compensate for it. It's too extreme to jump from the current situation to a 3-day working week. It is worth looking at how we might change people's working time, but small businesses would find it very difficult to organize themselves in such a way.
Okay, so think about the impact on civil servants in that kind of a job, customer service as well. One pronunciation issue besides the ch. Look at the word that I wrote in the chat window.
Others. Some fun.
Sun, fun, others.
Others. Okay, some fun, others.
That's right.
Others. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right. we think we lost Monica, or maybe she just lost her connection. So we're going to go to Sandra for Mr. Ian Cheshire. It's pronounced differently than it's written. I think it's Cheshire.
Okay. Sirlan Cheshire.
Sir Ian Cheshire.
Sir Ian Cheshire. Chief Executive.
Nope. Try it like this. Imagine that the X is a K and a Z. Executive.
Executive.
Perfect.
King Schiffer. The idea of 3 days a week is interesting. Much more flexible patterns of working might suit older workers, people who have more than one job, and people returning to work after a break. Companies should look at this as a way of attracting talented people who wouldn't be happy with all style 5 days a week. The only possible problem for businesses like ours will be maintaining good teamwork and consistent customer service when teams are not always together, but businesses that adapt to this new way of working will get the best people.
Sorry about the noise in the background here. We have some workers in the house and they're using bad language. Hopefully you can't hear that. I'll see if I can get rid of them. Just one pronunciation issue. Look at the last word I wrote in the chat window.
Shoot.
Right.
Okay.
So should, just like book. Should. Should. Good. Do we pronounce the L when it comes at the end of a word? Yes or no? Is the L silent, or do we say the L in the word should? Listen to me. Should. Should.
Should.
Do you hear the L?
No.
Exactly. It's silent.
Okay.
We don't say it.
Okay.
If you're confused, just think about it this way. The L is only said when it begins a word or a syllable. It's never said when it ends a word or ends a syllable. Sorry about the construction noises in the background. I have to fire these people. They're very loud. Sorry about that. So that's a rule. Should.
Should.
Okay, that's a rule. And you can review executive. Remember, X in this case is a K. It's either a KS or KZ. If there's a vowel, it'll be a KZ. Executive. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Monica's having trouble connecting, so we're going to go back to Giancarlo for Paul Sellers, number 3.
Yes. Paul Sellers, policy officer, Trades Union Congress. People in the UK don't necessarily want a 3-day week, but they do want more flexibility in where and when they work. While many people don't have enough work, some people have too much and would prefer to work fewer hours. Working anything more than 12 hours a day on a regular basis is not healthy. For some people, it would mean moving to a shift pattern, which could have a negative social impact, cutting people off from their friends and family.
Oh, sorry. Just this pronunciation word.
Shift.
Yeah, that's it. Not shift, but shift, like sit. Shift.
Shift.
Because otherwise they might think you're saying something like sheet, like the sheet on your bed. If you're saying it quickly because of the E sound, so it's I. shift. Same with flexibility. Flexibility. It's always an I sound. Not flexibility, but flexibility. Same thing. Okay?
Flexibility.
That's it. Good.
Okay, yes.
Monica, how's your connection? Is it working?
Yes, sorry, I totally lost the connection for a while.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us about Mike Emmett if you're connected now? Paragraph 4. Can you see it on screen?
Yes, okay.
Go for
Mike Emmett, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development.
Careful this one.
Carlos-
It's personnel, not personal, but personnel.
Personnel.
Personnel means the staff or the team that work with you. Your personnel.
Okay. Personnel and Development. Carlos Slim is right that people should carry on working in their 70s. It can be a positive development for many people, especially if they are interested in their work and want to keep their work-related social life. Long days are not necessarily bad. It depends on how people work, like when they take breaks and the support they receive. There are already lots of people working 5 days worth of hours in only 4 days. That way, you don't have to travel every day. There is the risk that people will work 3 long days but still check their emails and smartphones on the other days, stretching their working week.
Okay, very good. So, in just a minute, we're going to talk about all this. I'm going to ask you a few questions to clarify what each expert thinks, and then I'll get your opinions. We'll decide if we agree with Carlos Slim or not. But first, let's finish up the reading with Mr. Mikkel talking about Mr. Philpott, John Philpott. Last one.
Yeah, John Philpott, the jobs economist .org. ORG. Carlos Slim obviously thinks a slim working week suits his businesses, but not everyone will agree.
Do you get the joke? Carlos Slim thinks a slim working week suits his businesses.
Yeah.
Hilarious, huh? Funny. Okay, keep going.
Lots of people are already working overtime for free, and this could make that situation worse. If an employee can reorder their work and cram their productivity in 3 days, then it would be fine. But if they can't, their wages would go down, and they would be effectively paying for the extra leisure time. It could suit a professional or a researcher who can get their job done over 12 hours without additional pressures, but in blue-collar jobs, extending the day may not be possible. And a worker who deals with customers all day is going to be exhausted by the end of their shift.
Okay, good. Just one pronunciation word. Look at the chat window.
Researcher. First syllable. Researcher.
Researcher.
Sorry.
Good. Not researcher. Researcher is a noun. Research is a verb. First syllable again. To do research.
Yeah.
I can't think of an example where it's on the second syllable. I can't think of it. I think it's always on the first syllable for research.
Researcher.
Okay.
Researcher. Okay, thank you.
First, just a few questions quickly. I just want to clarify what everyone thinks, what each expert thinks. Kern, the first guy, he seems to be against it. Why? What's his issue with it? Who read David Kern? It was maybe it was you. It was you, Mikko. I think you read Kern. Right?
What was the idea?
I'm asking the whole class, so it could be anyone. What was David Kern's issue? Why does he seem to be against it? I'll give you a hint. He talked about a big hole.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, the number of hours that we work
Right.
will
Right.
decrease. Will decrease.
That's
No?
it. It'll decrease. There'll be a big hole. We won't be able to make those 40 hours. So that's going to be a massive decrease in productivity if we adopt this 3-day work week. It just won't be possible to do 13 hours a day, and even if it won't be possible, people need to sleep. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I think that is true in most of the jobs. In some jobs, no, but in most of the jobs, yes.
Okay? Yeah, it depends on the work you do. But anyway, that's his issue. And what they're doing is they're spelling out for us some of the nuances here. It seems like a good idea in one way, it seems like a bad idea in one way, in another way. But here they try to spell out those good and bad ideas. Each one has a different take. Mr. Cheshire, he seems to be more in favor of it. What was one reason that he was in favor of this? I think his issue was something about, for me, what I remember is he talked about attracting people. Does anyone remember what he thought would attract people? Or what kind of people would be attracted to it?
Very clever people, no? Very talented people.
Yeah, kind of like younger, talented people who are fed up with traditional things. He mentioned something along those lines. That's true. But there's a group of people that are going to suffer. People that won't be able to work those hours. Does anyone remember what group of people are going to have trouble with it, according to Mr. Ian Cheshire?
Customer service.
Customer service. They're going to be exhausted. There's no way you can deal with customers on the phone all day long and not be exhausted. Okay. Is there any other viewpoint that stands out from you out of these experts that you want to mention? Is there anyone that you strongly agree with or strongly disagree with?
Are you asking for our opinion?
Yeah, the whole class, yeah. Is there anyone you strongly agree with or strongly disagree
I
with?
think that the main it's very important that which kind of job do you have? Depend on
Which kind of job you have, not do you have.
Yes,
Right.
you have. It depends on the job. For instance, my wife is who is the name of the person who helps people to a midwife.
A midwife.
Yeah. And they work 12 hours. And I think that it's okay. And in a lot of
they don't work all 12 hours though. You mean they're on call, right?
No, they do 12 hours work days, or what was the word?
On call.
Yeah. On
Because
call?
yeah, because they never know when someone's going to give birth, so they're not actually.
But they are working every time. They don't have any. They have some stops along the day, but they are there working. And in some other jobs in healthy system, they work 24 hours. They sleep too, but they do this in this. And firefighters too, 24 hours days working.
Right, but there's a difference between being on call 24 hours and actually working 24 hours, right?
Yes.
They're not actually working. Also, you're not always on call, right? I mean, there's gonna be a period where you're not on call. Like doctors, they sometimes work overnight in the emergency room. They have to do clinic hours, right? But it rotates. So this month they might have to do it, and then they don't have to do it again for 2 months or whatever the rotation is. But anyway, for those people, are you saying that they're going to have an easier or more difficult time? I didn't quite follow. What was the point? It's going to be easy for them because they're already doing it? Is that what you mean?
I think that is possible in this kind of jobs to
Right.
have
Okay.
longer work days. It's possible, but speaking about blue collar jobs is difficult.
Hmm. And what about your kids' teachers at school?
No, it's not possible. It's a exhausted job.
Yeah, it's really tough because if you have a job where you have to prepare anything, at the moment, all that is like free work. Maybe in Spain, there's a provision in your contract, if you have a contract, that you get something like 12 hours per week to prepare, which is never enough. But see, that's already a problem. That was one of the points, by the way. We actually have to wrap it up because we're out of time. But that was actually one of the points. I forgot who said it now. There was one expert that talked about, oh, Mr. Philpott said that we're already working overtime for free. And the problem is, if you get your 3-day work week, you're going to end up working over those 4 days off. But you're just going to do it through your mobile phone or your computer, and you're not going to get paid for it. So he's saying that it's going to be, people are going to be even more taken advantage of. That's the fear, or that's the danger, the risk that we run, which I think is an interesting point, that a lot of times our weekend, in reality, is just the time when the boss says, oh, I need this for Monday, if you don't mind. And you can't say no. If you want your job, you have to do it, right?
Yes, right, but John, but I like to give you my point of view in short because we don't have time enough to continue. But we are talking about, I mean, the experts are talking about the speculations. They think this, they think that. Because, for example, I work in service, and not the full day I am speaking on the phone, for example, giving information or receiving people or dealing with people. There are hours that I don't have to do anything, just reading the newspaper or the internet or whatever. So why don't we give us a try, and why don't we open our minds to the new different innovations? Because, for example, I remember when the internet was going to be a boom, or
Right.
we said, "Oh, internet is a devil thing, or it's really bad because our families, our society, and we are going just to be sitting in front of the computer 24 hours a day." And maybe in a certain way, it's right, but internet has different positive things too. Why don't we open
Benefits.
our benefits? Why don't we open our minds and we try this point? And what, I don't know if it in any country, some people work 3 days just or 2 days and rest the next days. I'm not sure in this moment if in a country in the world uh, are there some people working 2 or 3 days just. But in my personal point of view, we need to give us a try. We need to try it, John. And after that, we can see. And for example, different companies and different.
We've got to wrap it up. I'm sorry. I got to start the next class.
Okay, what I want to say, different occupations must work 5 days a week, just. Maybe some others, they can work 2 or 3 days. But it could be interesting. Maybe next class we can continue talking about it, John.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good. Unfortunately, I've got to start the next class. But fortunately, it's all about having a kickoff business meeting. Maybe in the business meeting, you can propose a 3-day work week. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. I'd be happy to have a follow-up class where we talk about this issue. No problem. I'd be happy to schedule it. Let me know if you're interested. Maybe what we can do is on Monday, we can continue, we can work on this in the business basics class. Maybe. It's an idea. Okay, I've got to stop. You've got, I think, a few exercises you can try on your own. I'd be happy to correct you if you have any questions. Maybe I can put the answers there for you. Yeah, on the last page. Remind me about that, and I'll do it for you. Okay, I'll be back in just a minute for Business Basics. We'll be talking about kickoff meetings, everyone. And we'll be having a kickoff meeting as well. So join us for that. Bye for now.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now, everyone.
Bye bye.